Pat Griffith sat on the window seat of a Japan Airlines flight to Tokyo, Japan. After landing, he would be helped by American embassy officials and taken to Shirakawa Village, Gifu Prefecture, to return something to a family that had been with him for 75 years. As he watched the thick blanket of clouds and the setting sun gliding on its white cottony surface, he was reminded of a day many years ago on Saipan Island in the Pacific, when he was a Marine corporal deployed along with thousands to take the island from the Japanese. It was a hot day in June 1944. The Japanese Army was giving the U.S. Marines a hard time because of banzai attacks as they were short on ammunition and supplies. Pat and 5 of his fellow Marines, part of an reconnaissance team, were moving through the jungle when they sensed the movement of Japanese soldiers. A few meters away in a clearing, 6 Japanese soldiers had set up positions in a trench, but it seemed like they were resting. The American group encircled the Japanese and launched an ambush attack. In the fierce gunfight, 5 Japanese soldiers were killed and 1 American soldier died. The last remaining soldier still manned the machine gun, but his ammo had run out. He was hit in his arm. Pat, who knew rudimentary Japanese, called out to the lone soldier to surrender. But the soldier did not reply. When the group advanced forward, he leapt out of the trench with a gun-tow sword in hand and slashed the right arm of Private Joe Scarlatti. The sharpness of the blade was such that his entire right hand was slashed off. Blood started gushing out of his hand like a fountain. But before the lone Japanese soldier could launch another attack, he was cut down by a volley of gunfire. He fell to the ground, the sword landing an inch shy of poor Joe's feet. Doc Matthew Broad made a tourniquet on Joe's right arm and gave him morphine. The painful wailing of Joe still gave Pat nightmares. The Marines took whatever they could off the fallen Japanese soldiers. They took the gun-tow swords, knives, Type 14, Nambu pistols, and some took good luck flags as souvenirs. Pat took a good luck flag off the fallen machine gunner who had slashed Joe so badly. He put the flag in his backpack. The Marines carried the body of their fallen brother, taking turns carrying him. They headed back to base. Pat was injured in a mortar shell explosion in the coming days and was sent back home. He spent the rest of the war in a naval hospital in Long Beach, California, and was discharged after the war when he recovered. Pat married and found a job as a car salesman for Ford Motor Company. He spent 30 years on the job, rising from salesman to manager, and then area manager, and then vice president. He spent a normal life, and nobody could have imagined the horrors he went through in the war. Only his wife knew. The nightmares and the screams continued to haunt her for a long time. And then a time came when Pat could not sleep without drinking or sedatives. He would see the helmeted heads of Japanese soldiers sticking out of thickets in the jungle whenever he closed his eyes. But he held it together, raising 2 daughters, eventually marrying them off, and then retiring to a small farm in Montana. His war belongings included his uniform, service revolver, medals, a Bronze Star, World War II victory, and Asiatic Pacific Campaign medals. His journals, oyster shells, and a Japanese good luck flag was tucked away in a cardboard box and kept in a forgotten corner of the house. Pat never bothered to know what a good luck flag was or who it belonged to. All he knew was that the Japs deserved the beating they got. A month ago, during house cleaning before Christmas, he discovered a dusty box in a corner of the attic. It contained his military belongings. As he opened it, a faint salty smell caught his nostrils that took him back to the islands of the Pacific. He was reminded of the friends that he made there. Most were gone now. It was a long time ago. His platoon only had him and Doc Matthew Broad as the living members. Joe Scarlatti lost his right arm and spent the rest of his life as a disabled drunk. He couldn't earn a living and lived alone, off the meager monthly disability pension in a rented house in New Jersey. He never married. Pat and the other platoon men had tried to help him, but he was in such a dark, depressive space that pulling him back became difficult. One fine morning, Joe sent a check of $500 to his sister in New York, his savings from his pension along with a letter, and then used his service revolver to shoot himself in the head. Pat attended his funeral and broke down in tears. The war was over, but for some it never was. Pat's hand touched a cloth. He pulled it out from the box. It was the good luck flag he had taken off a fallen Japanese soldier. He opened the folds and gazed at the Japanese writing around the large red circle, the letters radiating out. He knew that it was a good luck gift from a soldier's friends and family when the soldier left home to take part in the war. He didn't understand what was written, but was now curious. In the evening, he took the flag to his neighbor down the street, the Takagawas. Mr. Takagawa, who knew Japanese, struggled to decipher the kanji script of 50 years ago when it was a different time. But with the help of his books, he deciphered the writings. It contained good luck messages from the soldier's family and friends. His mother, brother, sister, and 2 friends wrote emotional notes to the parting soldier. Bunchokyu, may your military fortunes be long and lasting, Iwai Shusei. Congratulations on your mobilization/deployment. Fight hard, Funto. Do your best, Genbari. These were a few among many others. His mother had written, Tora wa senri ita, senri keru. A tiger travels 1,000 miles and always returns home. The flag even mentioned the soldier's name and village, Hidetoshi Nomura of Shirakawa Village, Gifu Prefecture. Pat decided that it was time that he returned something that didn't belong to him. He was lucky that he was alive. Most didn't survive that first day of landing on those wretched islands. He was alive because others died in his place. And when his time came, he didn't want to go as a thief to God's kingdom. So on the 2nd of January, Pat sat on a long-distance flight to a nation against which he waged war, but had never set foot in. The American embassy helped him from the moment he set foot in Tokyo. An embassy official accompanied him to Shirakawa Village, given his advanced age. Shirakawa Village was a small hamlet of about 1,500 people, and they didn't have any trouble finding the house of Hidetoshi Nomura. It was a small wooden house and was occupied by Kaishi Nomura, the younger brother of Hidetoshi Nomura, and his wife. Kaishi Nomura was himself 70 years of age. The 2 men sat over a cup of tea, and the American embassy official, a girl of 30, translated between them. The Nomura family never knew what happened to Hidetoshi Nomura. The army office had said that he was killed in the line of duty. Pat told Kaishi about the courage of his elder brother on that fateful afternoon in June 1944. Kaishi broke down crying and was consoled by his wife. Even Pat had tears in his eyes. He stood up, handed Kaishi the good luck flag with both hands, his head slightly bowed. Kaishi accepted the flag and clutched the flag to his chest. He rose to his feet and bowed down as far as he could. His tears fell on the floor. Pat went ahead and hugged Kaishi, who reciprocated it with intense passion. Both men hugged for a long time, and when they parted, both had a smile on their faces. A smile that eclipsed the years of pain and suffering of losing loved ones, hardships, nightmares, and the constant longing to know. It was a moment when history stepped into the present and finally found the ending sentence it had been waiting for.